Hello, friends. So I don't know how many of you will be on here live, but if you are catching the recording, I just wanted to kind of preface this by saying I drank bulletproof coffee this morning, and I don't do that. And I have felt so off all day. So if you're like, why is this lady a little extra crazy today? I'll blame it on the bulletproof coffee. And I also just got off. Hi Sherry. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Jordan. Oh, yay. Some people are going to hop on live. I know this is kind of like an off time for people to be tuning into a live video, but awesome. I love seeing names on there. So number one, I wanted to kind of share a little bit about my story, and I wanted to share my passion on social media because, to be honest, I'm not really like an expert, but I'm an obsessed student. I love geeking out on all things business and like how social media works and how it's changing. And that's definitely a passion for me. So oftentimes people think like, oh, like Colleen knows a lot of social media. It's honestly just because I geek out on it. So I'm excited to share some stuff with you guys today. I'll share a little bit about me, my background, and then I'll dive into the questions that you guys had, and then I have a little bit of other material too, and I'm going to keep an eye on the time. So if you guys have additional questions too, you can just throw them in the chat box and I'll try to get to them. So I've been a coach 6.5 years, and I started majority of my business on Facebook, and I didn't have any experience. I came from like a corporate world background. So I remember when I started this, I saw this opportunity as something that I kind of had to prove myself to people, right? And so my mindset with social media has always been, I have to build credibility with people, and it's going to take a long time for me to do that because so many people doubt what we do. Now, remember, 6.5 years ago, the social media vibe and the social media engagement was just so different. And so my mindset about it was, okay, I'm going to use my social media to be a blog post every single day, because there was something about, I don't know why I thought this or where the seed was planted, but if I had a website or if I had a blog, I was official. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I have a ColleenCurtis.com website. That makes me real. And when you're first starting out as a coach, obviously that's not a priority. And so since I wasn't going to go build a website, I decided to use my social media platform as my blog. And I was super naive. I didn't have any fears about like people judging me or anything like that. And I just went balls to the walls with sharing on social media. And I think that that definitely is a strength of mine. And I've had to learn over the years how to tailor my content for my viewers. And I think sometimes as coaches, we get stuck in sharing our story and then we make it about us rather than figuring out how to share our story to help inspire other people. So there was a big shift that kind of happened when I realized that I'm in the TFTF Business Builder page. So obviously you guys are business builders. You're not newbies at this or anything. But I remember that there was this shift where I wanted to go from Beachbody coach to CEO. And Doug Moss taught me this. He's like, there's this shift that happens where it goes from the Colleen show to you're putting on the CEO hat, and now you're here for other people. It's not about you anymore. It's about serving other people. And we do that through our story. So I think that's kind of where like my passion has come from. And I've also been through a lot in 6.5 years. And for example, my husband went through a cancer diagnosis. He's fine. He went through chemo. We went through like this crazy experience. And I remember thinking to myself, I was shooting for 5-Star Elite. This was back in 2015 in the winter. And I remember being like, okay, I have this amazing opportunity and platform to share with people, but I'm really scared to talk about all these scary things right now. And it challenged me in such a big way to show up and I saw myself as the guinea pig of going through something really difficult. No matter what it is we're going through, it's always difficult, right? And I wanted to give people hope that they could show up on social media and share their story because it was going to inspire other people. And that's kind of just always how I've led my social media. And nowadays, I'm actually learning so much from my leading coach. So her name's Candace Rogers. If you guys go follow her on social media, I just love her vibe, how she shares her story. She's just so good at writing and her photos pop. So she's been able to organically, like she's never used any follow service. She's never had an assistant do any follows or anything like that. She's grown to like over 11,000. And granted, yes, it took 5 years. And there's actually some people in here who slay the game way harder than me, have 50,000 plus followers. Like Sammy, I know slays it. And to be honest, guys, like I'm not a massive recruiter. My upline has been, if you guys know Keith Callahan, he wrote the network marketing book, Built to Last. And I've just learned so many amazing principles from him, like more so, like I hit my goals and I help a lot of people. But for me, it's never just like, hit Success Club 100. It's, I want to bring in quality people who are going to show up with me and become lifers. So all of my social media content has been to really attract in the people that I want to join me. And every single post that I do is pretty much intentional. Every now and then I'll throw up a post of just like my son, like I did one this week on a day I wasn't feeling so hot. I threw out my back last week and I was like, my son is cooler than me. You know what I mean? Like, and I didn't put any intention into that, but I always tell my team to pour your intention into your posts. So whenever I think of social media, I think of social media as a place where I get to connect, serve, and get noticed and kind of leave that impact on people. And there's two people that I really like to follow for social media. Maybe you already know them. Jasmine Star is one of them. She's like a social media guru right now, especially for Instagram. I'm actually in her social curators course. I pay $49 a month and it's an online community. I'm getting tons of value and like resource from her. So I'm going to share some of that with you guys today, but I just figured I'd give you guys a resource, and as well as the Angie Lee podcast. Anything that has to do with social media, she's really good. Someone asked about like growing a following and getting new eyes and engagement on your page. Angie Lee has some really great podcasts, and you can just read the titles and spend some time watching those. But the thing that really set the tone for me when I really started to dive into my social media, looking at this as like, hey, I want to build a 6-7 figure business, is that my upline, Keith Callahan, told me that I get paid to be a professional storyteller. And that really stuck with me. And so when I sit down to tell my story, I think of it that way. I'm not showing up just to show up and to clock in. There's this purpose and passion behind what I do. And another thing that I think about when I'm sitting down is I think about who I'm becoming in this process. And I speak to the person who wants to make change, but they don't know how. They want this transformation. And I have to help them believe that I'm the authority that can help them. So there's so much that goes into that. I only have like so much time to chat with you guys, but I do have some things that I'll share with you as far as like tactical things. Sarah, I'm glad that connects with you too. So I'm just like, I have 5 points I wanted to share with you, and then I'll dive into the tactical stuff. But when you're writing your posts on social media, I want you to think about the other person reading or that comes to your page. And as a leader in this business, I think it's so important that we think about, how can I transfer the belief that I've built in myself? I believe in these products. I believe in this company. I believe, right? Well, first you have to build up that belief. But if you're in this team page, or if you're in this builders page, I know that you have the belief. You have to figure out, how can I transfer the belief that I have to someone else that they can do this? So when I sit down to write, that also is another thing that is in the back of my mind. Is this just showing people, hey, look what I did to show off? Or is it, hey, I'm going to be the person that can guide you. I'm the authority that will help you. This is what I did, but here's how I can help you. I know I'm repeating myself, but I just really want to hammer that home. Oh, thank you. Yes, this is like my comfy gym right now. I got it for Christmas. So just think of your story and your struggles. It's for other people. I actually had a really crazy thing happen on my social media yesterday because I'm getting involved with some charity events to help end the human trafficking industry. And it's heavy, right? And so like I had some serious backlash on social media yesterday, and I was just like remembering that the struggle that I'm having with someone having backlash on my social media or criticizing or commenting, I bring that back to my team and I show them how I handled it, because I think it's so important as leaders and as coaches. Like, what we put out there is super vulnerable. And so we have to have that confidence in ourselves overall, in general, to be able to put our story out there and to know that people are going to say things back. So I teach my team what to expect with social media as well. And my struggle yesterday definitely turned into a lesson for myself and my team. So as you learn things, share them with your team, because it's greatly going to help them. If there's a post that stands out that gets great engagement, think about it, dissect it. What did you do to stand out? Why do you think this got such great engagement? And teach your team how to do that. The other thing I'll say is, I don't know if you guys know, but Kendra Hall Hall, who wrote the book Stories That Stick, is coming to Summit. And she spoke at Leadership a couple years ago. I believe it was 2 leaderships ago. And I feel like she really stuck out in my mind, but I'm sure she's improved so much. I feel like there were parts of her presentation that kind of lost me. But because I wanted to level up, I actually have the book right here. Stories That Stick by Kendra Hall. Like, she did the research of what makes a post stand out on social media. And if you guys watch the Super Bowl, that Google commercial is the exact example of how you're going to remember that forever. That story will stick in your mind. So my team and I, we did this. If you guys struggle with social media, dive into this. She's done a lot of podcasts too, but she's coming to Summit. And I've been helping my team learn how to, like, hey, if you're going to put up a post on social media, that is out there all day long and can do so much work for you. You know, you make 1 post a day, actually, like in the feed, make it count. So Stories That Stick has really helped, and I've learned a ton. So, I was just reading the comments. Okay, so let me talk to you guys a little bit about something that makes a difference, because I know this is actually supposed to be a little bit more geared towards Instagram. So for Instagram, let's talk about your boss bio. And this is what I learned from Jasmine Star. So your bio, if I go to your page right now, I should be able to know who you're helping and how you're helping them. And sometimes I know, and again, you don't have to do this. I'm just someone who listens to the pros and the experts, and I take what they say and I apply it. So this isn't coming from me. I'm not saying you have to do this, but if you're looking to get more followers, you only have 7 seconds when someone comes to your profile, and they're going to make that decision if they connect with you right away. And the bio is the first thing. As much as we think it's the photos and the posts that we make, it's really the bio and what we have out there. So, Jasmine Star has an entire boss bio IGTV. She has a podcast. I don't know if she releases the entire how to create a boss bio in the IGTV, because she probably wants you to pay for her course, but I'm going to share everything that I can. So it's about them. So I recently took a before picture and an after picture. It used to say mastering the toddler mom life, helping women get fit from home. And it's that's just not enough. And so I had to get specific on who it is I'm helping and how I'm going to help them transform. And there's a couple buzzwords that you really want to look for. So for me, when I think about my mission and how I want to help people, and I only have 7 seconds to get them to follow me, I'm helping busy women in their 30s break their old patterns so that I can help them live healthy. And so for me, I'm always about breaking that pattern, because how many people come to us in my world and say, I've tried it all, I can't stay consistent. I want to help them break that pattern. So I asked my team, what's your superpower? When you think about how do you master this journey and you only have 7 seconds to kind of sell that transformation to someone, your boss bio is really important. So if I went to your profile, would I know who you serve and what your solution is that you're providing? And don't make it too clever, because this is something, I'm so sorry that I'm a science nerd about this, but maybe you guys will appreciate it like I do. Kendra talks about how there's 2 parts in our brain, because we're going so fast on social media that there's a system 1 and a system 2 in our brain. Without getting technical and, all scientific, that's what she calls it. And system 1 is I have 7 seconds to read this profile. Doesn't make sense. Do I want to follow it? But if system 2 has to kick in and they have to decipher it and they have to read this emoji and what's that little tiny emoji? What is she trying to do? They're not going to follow you. So don't make it too clever. That's something I've been working on with my team. We did a whole team exercise on this. Because 7 seconds, will they follow you? And you do want to be specific. Another awesome example that I can give you guys is I recently noticed that this girl was liking all my pictures, and I went to her page, and the first thing on the first line, because her handle was Chelsea with a Frenchie, like a Frenchie dog. And at first I totally thought that she was just going to be a dog mom or something. And the first line in her bio was, I help renters buy their first home, sorry, now I'm forgetting what it was, but it was, I'm a renter right now where I live in California. Oh my God, it's so expensive. I have to literally not buy anything ever again if I ever want to buy a house here, unless I want to buy a dump. And so I am a renter who is looking to become a first-time home buyer. I'm oh, that is something I need. And so I immediately followed her, and it clicked with me. And I thought back to, it's the perfect example of how quick we decide if we're going to follow / like someone. Also, I think that the boss bio is important for a couple of reasons. It's important because you're going to get that growth that you're looking for. Like if you're putting out awesome content and you're being consistent and you see these people, if you go to your insights, you can see 200 people clicked on my post from hashtags. Why didn't they come follow me? It's usually a good indicator, right? So this is going to help with your growth. And it also really solidifies your mission. This made my team think. This made my team think about what's my superpower? How am I helping people? What exactly do I want to help them accomplish? Because now it's easy. When I talk to someone new that follows me and likes my post, the conversation flows so much easier because they know what I'm about. They know that I am going to be someone who's going to reach out and talk to them about breaking their habits. So, I don't know, it just really solidified, rather than overcomplicating all the things that we do, I got clear on who I help. That's like a whole team call in itself, right? So I really suggest picking up the Stories That Stick by Kindra, because what it's done for me is it's created engagement on my post. She's taught me how to be very specific. So there's like 4 parts to the story that Kindra talks about. You should have a very specific detail. Like there should be an event, an explosion in your post when you're really trying to get a point across and get someone's attention. And so I teach my team how to have that explosion, like what was the main thing that changed. After I get off this video, because it's kind of hard, I kind of wish I was on Zoom so I could screen share and show you guys. I'll show you guys some examples of a Stories That Sticks using Kindra's method with the 4 areas of a story that have to be there to really have that lasting impact. But when I started practicing this, I started having really quality conversations and people were messaging me saying, oh my God, your post just spoke to me. Oh my God, I feel exactly like you just talked about in my post. Oh my God, that is me, right? We've heard that happen on social media before, but now I'm really being like, I'm 10xing my efforts on Stories That Stick. So the opening line is something that really matters. And Angie Lee taught me, and you don't have to do this in every post, but if I'm like, okay, today is going to be a story that sticks and I'm going to speak right to the girl that's going to make her either comment or message me or say, hey, sign me up. I want to make some type of connection with them, right? Is the opening line. And Angie Lee talks about how if you use these 2 powerful words and it's you or your, so that you're speaking right to them. An example is actually, I think I had, where did I put it? I wrote out some you and your captions so I'd like practice the skill. And some of them are, when you're tired and don't want to cook, here's what you do. You have 0 motivation right now, but you're tired of feeling meh. Like I'm speaking right to my people and then I go into the story. Girlfriend, you're torturing yourself with that huge to-do list today. My people are going to be like, oh my God, that's so me. What is she going to say about this to-do list? Oh my God, I totally torture myself with these long to-do lists. So there's a whole podcast that Angie Lee did on these 2 words that can change your posts and how to build engagement. Okay. So make your post about them. Make sure that there is some type of explosion. I'll show you the examples once I get off. I'll screenshot some stuff. And you want to make sure too that you have a call to action or a question. My upline, so Keith Callahan's like my upline's upline. My upline is Elizabeth Hartkey. She is a content and copy genius. She has really helped me. She actually has a podcast as well, and she had Kindra on her podcast. And Liz really helped me, rather than alluding to what happened in my story, she helped me like put people in that moment when they're reading my post. And it just draws them in so much that they can't help it. And I don't get like thousands of likes on my post, guys. I don't get 1,000 bajillion followers, but the conversations that I have, because some people don't want to comment, some people don't want to like, those are really what's working for me right now. People are getting to know me. I'm building that trust and credibility through my posts. But my coach Liz does such a good job of having that call to action and that question. So if you're telling a piece of your story, this is where you have to get a little creative. You have to think of at what point and where can I ask them like, hey, have you ever felt like this? Or if you've ever had this happen to you, what did you do to solve it? You know, like get the audience involved, and that will also help with engagement. So because I don't want to talk forever, I want to make sure I answer your questions. What are your top 3 to 5 musts in creating engagement on my page? I feel like I kind of just handled that, speaking directly and knowing who you want to help. You need to have an explosion in your story. Oh, hi, Jamie. You need to have an explosion in your story. And it's really hard to kind of teach the stories that stick mentality until you go read the book. And I flew through it with my team. We did a December book club and it was awesome. And guess what, guys? I've been a coach 6.5 years and I got really bored with team calls. I was like, I feel like I have nothing else to say at one point. And so we kind of revitalized my team because our team culture is so good, but I'm like, I want to do something different in 2020. And so we started doing coffee chats, which is basically, I just hyped up a different type of team call, but we also did a business boot camp. And what we're doing in there is I'm helping them change their social media, and they're so excited about it because so many people aren't sure of what to post. Or if you're like me, I was doing it so long that I felt like it wasn't having the impact and the reach that I wanted it to. I felt like white noise. And it was Seth Godin. He said, if your audience isn't listening, that's on you. And I was like, you're right, it is. So that's why I kind of started to geek out and learn all this. So the top 3 to 5 musts, again, I feel like kind of all of this as far as engagement is know who you're speaking to, fix that boss bio. There has to be an explosion and make it about them. Ashley Feldesine is really good at that. She reminds people that she's like having a conversation with them on her social media. She's really powerful at that. And do I run a set calendar schedule of posts? So I have not, but because I'm being more intentional with my planning and I want it to be impactful, Jasmine Star helped me come up with some categories. And so having a entire Instagram schedule or social media schedule gives me the heebie-jeebies because I do this business to be what we call a free bird, as Haley Christian would say. And so the fact that I would have to post a fitness post tomorrow, I don't like that. But I also don't want to just throw spaghetti at the wall and hope it sticks. So there's some main categories that she kind of helped me come up with, or she came up with. And so it's about me. And so there's 7 categories and you can of course add your own. And I can share this graphic with you guys too, but I'll rattle them off real quick. The thing that helped me with this is that I just got more specific in my posts. And I didn't feel like I had to sit down and say, what the heck am I going to post today? Because this far in the business, that can get old sometimes. So about me, and she gives a whole description of what that can be about. Behind the scenes, right? And I just love this. I can sink my teeth into, okay, today, it's been a while since I've shared an about me post or a behind the scenes post. So I can sink my teeth into that. It just gives me something tactical to dive into. My why. Oh my God, we share that story all the time, right? Some personal insight. So it could be about motherhood. It could be about beauty. What's your superpower? What are you good at? Encouragement. So that would be transferring that belief into other people. Another one is benefits. So what are the benefits to your challenge group? What are the benefits to drinking Shakeology or your superfood shake or however you market it? What's the benefit of someone joining your team? So there was just endless content because of these couple categories. And then the last one is products and service. So granted, I know a lot of our coaches in the network use Curiosity Marketing and we don't blast Beachbody or blast Shakeology. It's appropriate at certain times. We don't want to never talk about pre-workout or we don't want to never talk about it because what we do on our stories is very different than what we put on our feed. So sometimes we want to make sure that we don't forget to talk about that on our feed too. So I can share those categories with you. And then I actually added some of my own too. I feel bad that I didn't pull these up. Let's see. Because I'm very passionate about things like skincare. I'm really passionate about, where's mine? So I have other categories, motherhood, because that will get engagement on my feed. Beauty, that always gets engagement on my feed. Transformation, I love sharing my transformation because it holds me accountable. And adventure. Adventure is a huge part of my brand and my community will connect on that. So take these 7 categories and then add on a couple of your own to make it your personalized brand. Again, this is from Jasmine Star. I think there was just one more thing. Was there another question? What's my method of inviting on Instagram? Great question. So my focus again is to have quality over quantity. People come to my page and anytime that a new follower follows me, I do message them saying, hey, thanks for following me. I hopefully can see their page by following them first so I can get to know them a little bit. And I really just focus on like pouring my love into them and letting them know that my door is open. And I'm very specific with it. Like, hey, you probably came to my page because you saw in my bio that I help women break their patterns and their habits. I usually will send them a freebie. If you want to give me your email, I'll send off my 5 healthy habits, my 5 healthy habit hacks. Say that 10 times fast. And if not, no worries. I just want to welcome you to my page, and I hope my content inspires you. So I connect with every single person. I try to give value. I try to breathe life into them, because I don't know about you guys, but I have bad days too. And when I'm on Instagram and I'm just like looking at everyone else's fabulous life, like imagine if that influencer that you just followed messaged you because you followed them and they like breathe life into you. That would be earth shattering for most of us. So I try to be that person. So as far as inviting people, I find that because my content is specific, I think that I get 30 people unfollowed me yesterday and 28 people followed me yesterday. So it's kind of like give and take right now on Instagram, but that's okay. If 30 people don't want to follow me, get out of here. But the 28 that followed me yesterday, hey, that's awesome. I'm so excited. Maybe not yesterday. I think it's this week on the Instagram Insights. So let me just correct myself. And then if I really, really, really want to invite someone, I write their name down on a list. And my goal is to always, because I think that there's an appropriate time to invite people, if I'm being honest. This is a skill I've crafted over time. I'm not just going to send someone a cold invite, but I'm a huge fan of being in my inbox and connecting with people so that I eventually can invite them. And if my content is good and I'm giving value, honestly, the invite comes up so naturally because they're commenting and engaging and viewing my stories every day. I'll just be like, hey girl, I see you watching my stories, no hard feelings, but as you see, I'm here to help women break their habits. I run this virtual wellness studio. I'd love to have you in it. Let me know if you want some details. So that's kind of what I focus on, is the content to build the followers, to build the connection, to build the invite. I think it's kind of a process. To each their own. That is mine. How am I building my following? We've been talking about that. And I'll be honest, like it's hard right now. And I know I'm not supposed to say that as a leader, that things are hard, because then it makes it feel hard. But I also want to set the expectation that this is going to be a challenge, but I am hell-bent on growing my following by learning what I need to be doing. And I don't think that it's a secret hack or a secret trick. I really think that it's, am I providing the value that people want to see to make them follow me? And Seth Godin was a really good reminder for me that if my audience is not listening, it's on me. So best tips to bring eyes to new stories. And that's the last question I think we have. So Jasmine Star is the guru of Instagram in my particular opinion right now. She actually has an IGTV that talks about hashtags on stories, and she gives away so much free content. So her IGTVs are about 6 minutes long. I really suggest that you guys go geek out on them if you're like me and want to geek out on that kind of stuff. Bringing new eyes to my stories. I don't really think that I've hacked that yet, but I do know that I can probably come back with some new and different things that you guys haven't heard before this month, because Jasmine Star's entire focus for the month of the 10th to the 14th is visibility. How do I get more eyes and new eyes on my stories? So other than telling you guys to use location stickers and to make sure that you have your boss bio, and to make sure that you're using hashtags and all of the features like the sliders, the polls, the questions, any features that Instagram has available, use them. Because the more that you're going to use them, the more that Instagram's going to say, oh, this person's really active, and they're going to push your content out there. The last thing that I'll say, and this is a whole other thing, I wanted to do 30 minutes max for you guys because I don't want to talk forever, is IGTV. If you're struggling to grow, IGTV is the easiest way, and Chalene Johnson is the guru of that, I think, who actually teaches it. She has a free PDF too. You can go to all of her outlets and get that right now. And you can totally always do it your own way, but Chalene Johnson totally gave me some things to kind of sink my teeth in and to run with. And I'm really trying to do one IGTV a week that speaks to my people. And some of them flop. Like one of my IGTVs the other day got 1 view. And I was like, oh, okay. And then sometimes they get over 1,000 views. And that's really helped me be able to connect. But I really feel like the key for IGTV is to get them involved, to comment so that you can build that relationship. Like the views are cool, but you really want to get them involved. So I hope this was helpful, and anything that I have learned that I will continue to learn, I can stay in touch with Jamie, because I'm learning a lot from Jasmine Star right now, because I've learned everything on my own just kind of by failing forward, and I wanted to level up this year, so I'm going to the experts. Okay, I'll see you guys later. What is this group I'm doing with Jasmine Star? Sorry, I didn't see that question. It's called Social Curator. It's $49 a month. You get access to this Facebook group. And guys, I feel like out of all the trainings I've ever invested in, she is pouring into this. She does lives every single week. She actually will like pick out someone's Instagram profile and critique them, and like just brings light to so much of what we do as mentors, especially as, leaders in this business. Like I have to be able to critique my team's pages and to be able to critique their profiles and help them. So she's taught me a lot too. And yeah, I was like, what was the question? Social Curator. And I think she actually closed the doors to it this past month, but you might be able to get in still. So check it out. All right. I hope you guys have a good day.